The sleek, sunlit CBS Mornings studio in Times Square hums with the crisp efficiency of a New York dawn on an overcast October Friday in 2025, the curved anchor desk a beacon of broadcast blue under LED luminosity, the audience a mosaic of morning commuters and celebrity chasers. There, CBS Royals watch. Placards popping like confetti as co-anchors Gayle King, Tony Dokoupil, and Nate Burleson file in. Tony, the 44-year-old investigative dynamo in a tailored charcoal suit that accentuates his prosecutor's poise, his sharp jaw set for the day's deep dives. The applause amplifies as Prince Harry, the 41-year-old Duke of Sussex, sweeps in with that signature blend of rakish charm and resolute gravitas, his auburn waves windswept from a red-eye, clad in a soft gray merino sweater over slim-fit trousers that whisper Montecito nonchalance. He's here to unveil his trailblazing Archwell Apex, Frontline Futures, a AI-augmented platform forecasting veteran reintegration via predictive analytics, inked with Google Cloud for worldwide rollout. Gayle greets him with her iconic embrace, Nate nods to his military medal, and Tony tees up the opener. Harry, from helos in Helmand to high-tech healing, you're rewriting the rules. How's the Sussex squad suiting this stateside surge? Chuckles cascade as Harry sinks into the spotlight seat, sketching snapshots of family fortitude. Archie, 6, his futurist, fiddling with code kits echoing dad's drone diplomacy. Lilibet, 4, her pixie programmer, phase debugging puzzles with Megan's meticulous magic. The tempo's terrific for 13 minutes. Demo reels reel, Harry in holographic huddles with ex-RAF mates, his timbre thundering. Futures aren't forecasted, they're forged. Burleson bonds over brotherhood, Gayle glows on his grit, Harry hashing his headspace hurdles post-Sandringham silences, the gallery gripped in galvanic grace. But as the clock creeps toward commercial cadence, Tony, the 60-minute scourge with his CBS pedigree and personal stake in scrutiny, eyes narrowing to needlepoint precision, leans laser-like, Your Highness, frontlines forward thinking, front row salute to service scars. But let's level. You've leapfrogged from lineage to launchpads, spares salvo shredding sibling sacraments while Charles confronts chemotherapy and William warps under the Windsor warp. Is this AI armor another algorithmic assault on the ancestors, or have you archived the animosity for Alliance's algorithm? The sanctum seizes like a skipped heartbeat, an arctic exhale envelops, bystander brows beating as Harry's hail humor hardens, his digits digging into the divan in a discreet dig of disquiet. He halts, his harrow-honed harmony honing to honed harpoon. Tony, futures favor the fearless. I've framed forecasts from the fissures that fractured my family, fissures fueled by fictions that felled my mother. Spare wasn't assault, it was antidote, arming my brood against the baying brigade. Interrogate from your inquisitor's ivory is inviting, I've inched through the inferno. Tony, tenacious as a trial transcript, thrusts back with tempered tenacity. Antidote or accelerant, your algorithming ancestral aches into app accolades. Diana's diplomacy diffused dynamite, yours detonates dynasties for data dollars. Alliance, armistices with algorithms while kin knit in the nucleus. Forecast the fortitude, Harry, but firewall the family feud, or is the fractious firmware your featured function? Inhales ignite inferno, Gayle's gaze gapes, Burleson's banter breaks, the throng throbbing in throes. Harry's heat heightens to heather haze, voice vaulting to velvet vanguard, fractious. Fashion falsehoods, Tony, you've tackled truths in Tehran and Tripoli, but this feels like tabloid theater. My function, fortification, for the front line forgotten by the firm's facade. This isn't featured, it's foundational, fancy the forum, but not the facilitator's feint. The fusillade furors, Tony tabling, tattletale transcripts, on his disruptive directives, Harry hurling hallowed horrors and hereditary hypocrisies that heralded his hiatus. The cadre clutches, Gayle grasping, Grace guides, Burleson bridging, brothers bond, but the blaze blazes, the bleachers bifurcating into boisterous blocks. Suddenly, Harry hoists to his heroic height. Tony, your mornings morphed my meridian, I've forecasted enough for one forecast. Crew, colossal kudos for the conduit, crowd, code into frontline for the frontier. He unhooks the harness with heirloom haste, hastens hence with heraldic hustle, his hegira herding the handlers like hounds at heel, detailing his decampment as Tony, tenor-tested yet triumphant, turns to the tube. That's the thrust of transparency, thorny, but thorough. We'll unpack post-pause. Broadcast bolts to buffers, backstage boiling in bedlamic brew, liaisons lashing lines, while Harry's hurried helo hurdles him harborward, Megan's message materializing, my forecaster, my fortress, futures favor us. X erupts in eschatological ecstasy, Hashtag Harry kicked off CBS Trends torrential in terra seconds, pilfered patron panoramas piling 35 million metrics, memes melding his migration to high hopes, harmonies. Diarist detractors dance, Pierce postures, Dokoupil's dagger on the Duke. Via viral verve, Omid orates, Don's deplorable deceit, hashtag Prince Pinnacle. Gail Grace's group chat, passion propels purpose, peace to the pioneer. This contretemps? No, nominal natter, it's a news nexus nuke, where a newsman's news nicks a noble's narrative, narrating noontide news nadir. As the megalopolis metastasizes, one oracle orates, when Harry Hayes's Tony kicks Aaron a casual, they're cataclysmic, catalyzing Chronicles cauldron. As aureate autumnal auras anoint the archipelago of asphalt, the Dokoupil Harry dust-up on CBS Mornings detonates into a digital deluge, drenching domains from Dumbo's docks to Dover's Downs, where viral vignettes vivisect the verbal velocity, spawning schisms that splinter synapses and socials in a spectacle spanning sunup to sundown. CBS's cloister crackles with cataclysmic calculus, dailies divvied for diagnostic delving, Tony toasting tonic in his tweed, replaying the riposte with a ruminative rasp. The lad's labyrinthine, but lineages lacerate, landed the ledger, say TAE speak. The successor sequence surges with sagacious savvy, Gale galvanizing the guild, y'all, Harry's horizons heal hordes, Tony's thrust was tenacious, but tenacity tempers truth. Burleson buttresses with brotherly ballast, but Tony tables the thesis, frontline. Formidable, but freights the forecast, nay naivety, all acclaim TAE the architect. The unadorned altercation avalanches online via voyeur videos, 120 million metrics by Meridian, TikTok tantalizing Harry's huff at 15:23 sync 2. Future so bright, blasts, X's hashtag Tony takedowns Harry netting 7.1 million missives morphing his mean to Mike Tyson mid-mall. Harry's high altitude on a horizon hush, haloed and heavenward hush, heralds a headwell herald that's halcyon harangue. Hail TAE CBS's clarifying crucible, Tony's tenacity tested the terrain, but futures forge fearless. Airs, horizons hunger harmony, no, hurdles. Initiative inscriptions inflate 950%, initiates inaugurating immersives in indomitable idol, Megan materializing mid-mesa with a murmured, my forecast, my flame, legacies luminous. Palace percolations prickle, the times tattles, Duke derailed Dununder. Up over Charlie's Chamberlain's chortling, chuffed chagrin, or, endless encore, Will's whisperers weaving, wearied the waltz, but wickedly warranted. Late night laureates lunge, Jimmy Kimmel kits a Royal Reckoning remix, with Tony as trial titan, quipping, Harry hightailed quicker than from Highgrove, Dokoupil's the real docket drop, as Trevor Noah nods nuanced in his Netflix nook. CBS's Coombe climbs 68%, overlords orbiting, auroral assaults, arcs, while Archwell architects, futures versus freight, a gratis grid for grappling grudges, transfiguring TAE talisman. Dokoupil's detailed dispatches with diplomacy, post-tape telegrams, his, slice the saga, Highness, sorry for the sting, sequel spar. His, appreciated the acuity, Tony, let's forecast forward. Ripples ravage realms. Advocacy alliances applaud the awareness avalanche for shadowed sojourns, equity enclaves etched as, matron versus maven, marginalia mirrored, partisan pit's pit, privileged prima donna punted, brava, beacon. Paparazzi pester Penn Plaza for his post-parade promenade, but diversions deflect the deluge, Harry homing into hearth with hallowed hikes alongside Archie. By Braeside brunch, the Sussex stratagem synthesizes a Spotify sprint, sampler, futures o' the forgotten, encapsulating the exchange, from morning Mike TAE midday might, unfettered. Tony, toasting at a Tribeca tavern, tables TAE tabloids, tackled the titan, toughened my tenor. The hubbub harmonizes, Reddit realms relitigate, Dokoupil's Durker drivel, viral videos vault the vitriol TAE virtuosic violin voicings. Under the uproar, an undercurrent uncurls, this wasn't wasteful wrangle but a window TAE wounded wavelengths, where a broadcaster's broadside burnishes a broadcaster's brand. No hides harried, but headlines head TAE head. Tony's tenacity notched as navigator, Harry's heroism hewn in the heat. As vespers veil the village, the afterglow attests, when dukes duel dawn dynamos, dialogue detonates deeper, and the devotees. Diners on the dust-up decanted into delectable drama. This tempest, no, trickle, torrential tide, transmuting tussle into testament. Tune the tube, the telegraph's throbbing WI, throws TAE come. Nuke nukes TAE November's nip, and the Dokoupil Harry melee metamorphoses into a medley o mediation and milestone marches, melding melee into a medallion o momentum that magnetizes media from Moray Firth TAE Malibu mesas, manifesting moxie in every montage. Harry, majestic in his meadowed manner, maestros the frontline futures, fet under harvest heather, icons like Malala orating his odyssey, from CBS Crossfire TAE Clarion Code, you transmuted trial TAE Triumph. Streams shatter stratosphere, Google gracing it, Gem o the gloaming, WI, a sophomore season solicited sowing Tony's thrust into nuance narratives. Tony, Nexus o his news niche, narrates a morning muse module on his midday mic, re-examining the Rumble WI, roundelay reflections, his intro intoning, nudge the narrative. Necessarily, nods TAE Harry's metal, the Maven's got morning star magnetism. Metrics mount TAE meteoric, Peabody murmuring at the nuanced news nerve, as he helms a hybrid hookup, co-convening an Archwell Awareness Assembly for Advocate Artisans, his Ken Speckle kudos lending lift. Palace plinths part provisionally, Camilla's Chronicle in Country Life croons, Contretemps cultivate crowns, Courier in coy Yuletide yarns, Wills, Westminster walk winks at, familial friction forges fortitude. X's xylem yields hashtag Harry Tony Tide, 9.3 million missives merging mock mergers, fan fictions filching their fray into feel-good folktales. Primetime protagonists play, Michael McIntyre crafts a comeback crossroads, cameo, conjuring Emmy echoes. Wider waves wax, Westminster workshops weld, discourse directives, from the dust up, weaving Harry's highways into mediation mandates, Yankee yards yield, empathy escalators, in ethics engines. Archwell's Nexus nets nebulae in navigation nodes, downloads doubling as detractors dissipate. Harry Hayes's hillsides, Tony's tenacity. Torch TAE the terrain, torch the thorns. Tony, navigating Narragansett nautical nods, narrates TAE navigators, bumped the blue blood, buffed my broadcast ballast. Juridical jetsam junked, no Jeremiads, just juxtaposed jubilations on joint journals. As Advent's aurora advances, the Sussexes stage a solstice salon, Tony navigating the nautical 9 hours for noshes and natter, nuzzling mid-nibble, highness, next negotiations or Napa vintages, no, noble niggles. Gales o glee gild the gathering grand. The imbroglio, infused inte icon, inflecting infamy inte inspirational ink. Harry's horizon, heroic, hustler honed, humanity heightened. Tony's, tenacious, trial titan tempered in the tussle. In this incantation o infighting TAE infusion, the quintessence quickens, morning TV's maelstrom magnet, where wrangles waltz into wisdom's waltz, and, kicked off, kindles, kicked up. No coronets cracked, but constellations converged toward concord. So serenade the salvos that symphony inte sagas, TAE screens that summon shared sagacity. Prince Harry's Dokoupil duel, no, drub, but dawn, dazzling, dialectical, and dawning divine. And if auroral altercations allure or awakening, absorb this, the arcs arched, the aftermath aglow.